Well, this is a challenge for me not to say the usual thing that I've said, where I welcome people at our two theater campuses, because as we speak right now, we're in a transition time when our mall campus is about to become our Miracle Mile campus. But we want to welcome our people at the other campus this weekend. Let's welcome them right now, shall we? And we are so excited this weekend to have as our guests Pastor John Early from Renovation House out on Deans Creek Road in Spencer. Back when I was a young pastor, I actually lived in Vallet for 4 years, and I remember Deans Creek back before Renovation House existed. But I was just out there to visit not too long ago. And we're so excited to have them with us. We have had a partnership with them through most of my time here at Pennsylvania Avenue Church. When John came about 5 years ago, I just felt like I met a soul that I've known all my life. He's just a good brother in Christ. And I'm going to turn it over to him, and I think he's going to, after that, call on a few people from the Renovation House ministry. One of them you're going to be pleased to see is an old friend. I don't mean old. He's not as old as me, but a good friend that many of you will recognize. So, Pastor John?
It is absolutely wonderful to be back here with you all. Thank you, Pastor Bill, for the kind words. I too feel a real divine partnership with your church and its body. It's been a wonderful ride. We're 5 years deep into this relationship. Pastor Bill's been working with Renovation House a long time. I'm 5 years in. In the last 5 years, I'm pleased to tell you that we've had 52 men graduate the program. They are saved, healed, delivered. They are out doing whatever it is that God has raised them up to do. They've been reunited with their families. Many of them are working their dream jobs. We have 6 people in college right now, many of them schools of ministry. And in the last year, we started our very first ever Women's Home program and graduated the First Lady. So it's been a busy year, and you here at the church all have a piece of that. Thank you for your investment in us. We love the food pantry. Our guys love working and serving at it. It gets us off the mountain, gets us engaged back with our community, and seeing as how we have zero budget for groceries, that comes in super handy for us too. We provide about 420 meals a week, 3 times a day, 15 to 20 guys, 3 times a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and y'all have a piece of that. So for that, I say thank you. I do have with me a representation of the men's home. We'll have an alumni guy here, and one of the very first women of the Renovation House. Elizabeth, would you come up and just share a moment with us? Ladies first, I guess.
Thanks, Reb, for the introduction. I'm just so glad that I've been a part of the Women's Renovation House to be chosen for that position. I'm the second woman. My roomie that I've been doing this year with is the first woman to graduate to the Women's Renovation House. I'm going to be the second one to make that stride in, and glad to be a part of that building of the stepping stones of the Women's Renovation House. I hope to help more women in the future. I guess you can tell by the accent, I'm not from here, but don't fret, people, you are still in New York. I just also want to thank Pennsylvania Avenue United Methodist Church for the people of your congregation. There's 3 very instrumental women in my life that helped me, that watered the seed, that planted the seed, that kept watering and watering. One of them, Tracy Barlow, finally got me to the Renovation House. Mo Gunderson did one-on-ones with me at the jail. Mary Wilson comes to see me now. I love every one of those women, and I'm so glad that they helped me in this different part-time of my life. Just to let you guys know, I'm really excited as well that my daughter is coming to visit me for the holidays. that she can finally have a mom that she can be proud of. I can't wait because we're going to put her in class with us. Hopefully that she'll get a little bit of encouragement out of that as well. I'd like to see her to follow a little bit in my footsteps and get back on the right track.
And now I'd like you to hear from one of your own. Pastor Bill alluded with some mystery to who that might be. Mark, would you come up and share with the people what God's been doing in your life? Good to see you, buddy. You're welcome.
First of all, thank you, all of you, for the awesome prayers that you've sent. I've felt everyone over the years, and they've certainly made a difference. This church has been my home church for quite a few years now, and I really, really have a special place in my heart for all of you. And I want you to know that the Renovation House really appreciates all the food that we get from you guys with the food cupboard and all that. Lord knows I've fattened up enough on it. And so that being said, let's talk a little bit about the Renovation House. You know, that place has been awesome. It's been something where it's a safe place for the people that need it. It's a place to find the Lord. It's a place to experience God in such a wonderful way. It made my journey, which was a difficult one, a lot easier. And it's amazing how we watch people in different transitions in their lives, how things just, you watch people and you just see the change, and see somebody that has like this blank, non-focused stare that all of a sudden they just light up, and they light up with Jesus. And that's something that John's been made everything possible with, and the Lord. And it's a little crazy up on that mountain every once in a while, but I'll tell you what, it's starting awful nice, and we appreciate it. And I can't tell you again how much I appreciate Pastor Bill and PAUMC. You guys are all awesome. It's been so good just making a visit today. Thank you very much.
That was beautiful, Mark. Thank you. We love that guy. I know he's important to you, and he's become very important to us as well. I'd now like you to hear from one of our alumni. He's been here before as a student, but God has moved him on, and sometimes that's wonderful and necessary, but we sure do miss these guys when they leave us. But it's really, really cool when they come back. Neil, would you share with us what God's doing in your life now these days?
Well, hello there. My name's Neil Hill. I'm an alumni of Renovation House. I'm also a student at Elam Bible Institute in college. I graduated Renovation House about almost 2 years ago. We're coming up on 2 years. And from there, I went to Bible college, thanks to the prompting of Reverend John Early. And it's been an amazing ride since then. I've done really well at school, and I've excelled in many different ways. I've been given leadership opportunities, and look forward to going into some sort of full-time ministry when I leave there. And maybe even going on to further schooling. And I'll be graduating in May with an associate's degree. and I get to graduate with one of my buddies that you guys probably know, Justin Snyder. We're both graduating in May of this year, and I just wanted to say thank you for everything that you guys have done. I remember coming out here to the food pantry and giving, Saturday mornings to you guys, and receiving so much more in return. The thanks of the people that you guys help out, just helping them load up their groceries, and interacting with all the volunteers here, as well as, bringing home so much food, and just the blessing that you guys are to the ministry is incredible. Not to mention the prayer support that you guys offer, and your yearly donations, and just everybody who helps out. Thank you so much. I'm the first one to tell you it's not in vain. There are fruits to everything that you do. So thank you so much. And I'd also like to just say thank you to the Renovation House for making this possible. I was telling Pastor Bill right before this, it's been a very long road. But since I went to Renovation House, it's been a lot smoother, and it's been the change that I needed. The Lord's been working miracles in my life, and I owe a lot of that to the Renovation House. So thank you so much.
Good job, Neil. Thank you. One of the greatest blessings is watching, these guys graduate our program and move on, and all you have to do is pick up a newspaper or watch a news article to know that it doesn't always go that way. There's a lot of caskets in the ground filled with the young people of our nation right now, and it's wonderful to see and be a part of redemptive stories. It's incredible to see these guys fall in love, get married, start producing chubby little babies, and be pillars in their churches. And Jesus came that we might have life and have it more abundantly. In this time that we live in, there are a lot of uncertainties. There is so much going on. You just with scrolling through Facebook for 20 minutes, you get so much confusion. So many questions can arise. Where do we fit in this huge picture? Sometimes I think we probably feel like grains of sand being hit by waves of the ocean, tossed in every different direction. But God has a plan. He has a purpose. He has a destiny and a future for each and every one of us. And what I want to admonish you to do, church, as we are coming into the new year, bring all of your questions. Bring the direction that you're looking for. Bring the questions that you have. Bring your need. There is a factor called the God factor. And I would admonish you to consider the Lord. Even so many times we as Christians, we get caught up in making our lists of pros and cons, of trying to figure out what the logical move forward would be, or what's the data, what are the stats, where are the actuary tables falling on this matter and that matter. And we come to church and we sit here every week, and we forget to ask the Lord. We forget to invite him into our circumstances, invite him into our situations. God is not the author of confusion. He is real. He is alive and well and God enough to speak to your situation. He is God enough to speak to your circumstances. He is God enough to be that voice behind you whispering, "This is the way to go. Walk this way and you'll be all right." His voice sounds like peace. His voice sounds like joy. His voice sounds like relief. He's got enough to speak to you. Rebecca gives us an example of two people struggling inside us. She had twins, Jacob and Esau. One was a man after the flesh, after the world, and all of its appetites, and all of the things that it had to offer. Esau traded in his birthright, his inheritance, for a plate of soup because he saw no value in it. While Jacob was a man after the Spirit who wanted God, who wanted a godly inheritance, who wanted to be a man after God's own heart and the Spirit. Each and every one of us have that war going on inside of us. We have that creature inside of us that doesn't want the godly answer, doesn't want the godly things. It wants what it wants when it wants it, and it wants it right now. And it better be salty and have a lot of butter on it, and it better be juicy. We don't care if it's not good for us. It better, we have an app. Why are donuts so good? I mean, especially when they come right up out of the grease. Come on. Have you been to Krispy Kreme lately? It's not even fair. Those little bundles of joy come out the other side of that frosty waterfall just like sin. It ain't right. What do? We gobble it up, but we're not supposed to. God doesn't want us after the donuts. He wants us after the meat of His Word. We're supposed to be people of the Spirit. I've got the whole group here behind me on camera chuckling so bad they can't hardly contain themselves. Sorry about that. Sometimes I get off track. But it's real, right? The struggle is real. We've got a man after the flesh inside of us, and we've got that man after the Spirit, that woman after the Spirit. I want to admonish you once again in all of your decision making, in the things that you are facing, in the midst of your struggle. Invite the Lord into it. If your life was this table, just picture laying out all the different components: career, entertainment, relationships, work, church, crisis, hobbies. There are things on the table of our life that the Lord has an answer to. There are things on our table that don't belong there, that He would like to take away. Ask Him. Ask Him, what are some of the things in your life that can be removed, that you would be better without? And God will replace those things with His really good stuff. Be willing to trade your junk for His treasure, because that's what the difference is. Our stuff that we think is so precious is just junk. But God's stuff is where the gold is. That's where the treasure is. That's where the precious jewels are. Invite Him in. He is alive. He has a voice, and He will speak to you. John 16:13 reads like this: He, the Spirit of truth, is come, and He will guide you into all truth. Church, He is available to guide you into truth. He will not speak only of Himself, but He will speak whatever He hears, and He will show you things to come. We don't have the same perspective that God has. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. His ways are not able to be comprehended by us, but He can show you how things are going to work out. He can, you know what, sometimes He doesn't even show you. He just says, I want you to go this way, and you're going to have to trust me. And you might not have all the answers on the front end of the matter, but He has the ability to show you all the way through, and it ends up working out. His way works out always. Our way works out never. It's actually really simple stuff. Really easy. Invite him in. Consider him. Ask. In one of the first sermons that Jesus ever preached, he said, ask, seek, knock. Ask and you shall be given. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be opened unto you. There are many of you that are facing many, many doors. Knock on heaven's door and see which one of the doors you're facing God opens for you. Don't kick it in. That doesn't usually work out well for us. In the book of Ezra, it speaks of a time when the children of Israel are at the river Ahava, a place of indecision. They're up against it. And there's a lot of different directions that they could go. The enemy seems to be pressing in on them every side. And it says that Ezra proclaimed a fast there at the river Ahava to seek a right way for them and for their children and all their substance and all that pertained to them. In this new year, I challenge you, if you're facing some stuff, and even if you're not facing some stuff, let's start this year out with the Lord. Get before him. Maybe skip a few meals. Push yourself away from the cookie plates left over from Christmas, and it's okay. Grandma won't be offended if you don't eat every last bite of the 3 pies that you have on the counter. It's going to be all right. Maybe do a little fasting. How about starting out the year in prayer and seek of the Lord a right way for you? All that he has for you, your future, all that's connected to you, all of your substance. Consider the Lord. Invite him in to your life. Invite him into this new year and let him show you the way. God bless you and keep you. Thank you, Pastor Bill, for once again inviting us. It's wonderful to be partners with you, having our shoulder to the same plow, advancing the kingdom of God in the earth, one woman, one man at a time. God bless.